So welcome to the presentation of my work in progress for my dissertation with the title Impacts of Environmental Volatility and Environmental Complexity in Key Account Management Practices and Performance Outcomes. My name is Thomas Rano-Fuß. I'm a student at the University of SMBS Salzburg in Austria, and it's a partnership program with the University of the Sunshine Coast in order to do my PhD. So first of all, I would like to show the agenda for my presentation. First, I will talk about the introduction and make a short situation scan. Afterwards, I will come to the literature review and the topic structure and come to the theoretical model of my dissertation, what's the planned research methodology, and at the end, what is the research aim, the objectives, or the expected contribution. So what's the research question itself? So the research question is, what are the impacts of environmental complexity and volatility on the relationship between key account management practices and key account management performance outcomes? So this already makes clear that the discipline is in relationship marketing theory, and as it's a huge field for sure, it's necessary to make some delimitations. So on the one hand, I make the delimitation on the respective type of business relationship. So I will only focus on the business to business, so-called B2B market. The second delimitation is in regards to the product portfolio characteristics. So what does it mean? It means that I will only focus on companies that are offering certain level of customization to their customers. So this means that they're not only selling their standard products, but rather are offering a level of customization in regards to their product or service portfolio. And the third delimitation is referring to the geographical location of the companies. So I'm focusing explicitly on the European market, and I will consider the location of the headquarter as a reference to either decide if it's active in the European market or not. So if they're a company or a group with several locations, subsidiaries, as mentioned, the headquarter will be the factor that will be considered here in particular. So first, the introduction. So as already in the early 90s identified by Morgan and Hunt, they found out that a successful management of a relationship between customers and suppliers requires a relationship-related marketing approach. And out of this relationship-related marketing approach, the relationship marketing theory was developed, and as a sub-concept of B2B marketing, key account management, or short CAM, has been established and is meanwhile one of the most important representatives within this discipline. On the other hand, a professional key account management has been adapted continuously during the development of key account management, and there were supplementary strategies developed and tools. The idea is always in order to manage extraordinary important customers. And in initial times of key account management, the targets were pure monetary, so number of sales, etc. However, modern approaches, they are striving for a more holistic contemplation. It's mentioned as in order to open up new and lucrative potentials. The idea is not to only sell the product, but to have an entire key account management team established, to have the relationship as the basis of key account management established, and use the power of the relationship in order to make business. So based on the, as mentioned, relationship marketing theory. There is a remarkable paradigm change in customer behavior and demands visible, and this requires suppliers to dynamically adapt in a very competitive environment. And therefore, relationship marketing is the essential aspect of key account management in order to enhance the strategic orientation of the collaboration, with the always main focus on sustainability and a long-term oriented relationship perspective. What's the situation scan? So I have basically 6 major points that I've mentioned here. So CAM programs mainly focused on sales profit potentials of the key accounts instead of incorporating the supplier's relational capabilities in explaining the outcomes of CAM practices. And this is as well the reason why I'm as well focusing on the resource-based view and consider, as previous researchers already did, the relational capabilities as a resource. And the quality of the relationship between supplier and key account manager affect the supplier's performance significantly and provide competitive advantage. This is as well recognized by several researchers in diverse journal articles. And particularly during the last decade, as well, environmental factors and their potential influence on key account management, performance outcomes have increasingly became important. So it's not only about the competitive situation and competition that is on the market, but rather the entire environmental situation that is bringing new challenges to key account managers. And as well as mentioned, besides the fundamental monetary drivers, specifically behavioral drivers, relational drivers, and technological drivers show a decisive influential importance on the performance outcomes. And in addition, as mentioned, dynamic markets, the volatile situation on the market, they require key account managers to continuously adapt their practices in order to keep the relationship on a high level and in order to stay competitive. And this competitive advantage is only achieved by managing the knowledge of the networks in order to consider this as a success factor within organizations. So what's the literature review? What's my topic structure? So on the one hand, we have, as mentioned, relationship marketing as a basis of the entire research, with 2 main subsections here. For sure, the definition of relationship marketing. However, an important role plays key account management and the customer relationship management in order to get a quite broad view of relationship marketing. The next topic, particularly for my dissertation, is the resource-based view. As mentioned in previous researches already, and I'm adapting this model. The resource-based view is considered as the basis theory here, and relational capabilities is considered as a resource in this context in order to moderate here the relational outcomes. As relation capabilities, we have information sharing and conflict resolution that are as well proven in theory. And as relational outcomes, we have the typical three, let's call it like this: satisfaction, trust, and commitment. However, in addition, and in the last years, more and more important as well, the topic of communication. However, what are the existing gaps in the existing data? We have three major topics that I identified as gaps in existing data or in the current literature. First, there's no data about the mediating effect on environmental factors on the relationship between key account management practices and relational or performance outcomes. So this means that environmental factors have not been analyzed in the context of their mediating effect on relational capabilities. First topic. Second topic is looking at the key account management practices that have been used as variables or higher level order constructs. There are basically no technological levels considered. So we have diverse levels that have been researched, but no extension to a technology level or technological level has been performed yet. So this will be extended in my dissertation structure equation model. And the third topic is that there's no data of impacts of environmental factors on relational capabilities that are impacting performance outcomes. So coming to my conceptual model, this is basically the research model of Gunaris from 2014 and Tembelikos of 2015 that I've adapted and made some extensions. So basically, as you can see, we have on the left side the key account management practices that are having an impact on relational capabilities, leading to relational outcomes, and in the end to key account management performance. And what I'm doing is I'm extending this existing and proven model of relationship marketing by a technological level of key account management practices. And in addition, I'm adding the environmental factors as mediating effect on the relationship between key account management practices and relational capabilities in order to analyze what are the specific impacts on this relationship, however, as well to analyze what are the particular impacts of environmental levels on relational capabilities itself. From a research methodology point of view, I will use the mixed methods here, and I have basically three steps. First step here is that I will make a qualitative part that is made by personal expert interviews. I have an extended sample size of 8 to 10 experts, and the basic idea is the verification and confirmation of existing models. I want to check if there's an additional input for my constructs, maybe add some relations that are in addition as a result to the literature review, and maybe the extension or adaptation of research objectives that I've made. And the idea is to make it with a semi-structured questionnaire to ensure the validity. Second is quantitative, basically a preliminary test in order to make the pre-test and make sure everything works as expected before I come to the final questionnaire survey. And the idea is basically to finally verify and confirm the model and hypothesis. And I have here an intended sample size of 200 to 250 with a fully structured questionnaire to ensure here as well the comparability. What's the research aim and expected contribution? First, the identification and verification of further variables of key account management practices that are significantly influence key account management outcomes on a relational, financial, and dyadic level. Second, the extension of existing structure equation models describing the relationship between key account management practices and performance outcomes by adding environmental factors. Third is the determination of variables of technology-based levels in key account management practices. And fourth, for sure, to make a contribution to theory and practitioners by analyzing and verifying the particular impact on interrelations of environmental factors such as complexity and volatility in relationship marketing model. So this was my presentation of my current work in regards to my dissertation, and thank you very much for your attention and for your attention. Thank you.